Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Artificial Entertainment. I'm one of your hosts, Josh Lakaitis, and, well, as you may have known, this episode was going to be a review of the two Peter Cushing Doctor Who movies, but we seem to have hit some, technical difficulties. It just wasn't that good, boys! Whoa! Instead of that, we're releasing episode 0 of Artificial Entertainment. It's awkward and has some pauses, but we wanted to release something for your ear holes, and... hold on. She gave it to me, but didn't tell me how to make it work. Oh, here we go. Whoa! Okay, well, enjoy episode 0 of Artificial Entertainment. Now I have to run! Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to episode 0 of Artificial Entertainment. I am one of your hosts, Josh Lakaitis, and to my right we have Fade Out Mason.
Mason.
Oh, you meant me? Oh, I'm Tyler. Hi.
All right, why not, for clarity's sake, we just we just introduce ourselves again.
Okay.
I am one of 3. My name is Josh Lakaitis.
This is my friend Mason.
2 of 3. I am 2 of 3, Mason Betterly.
And I'm the 3rd. And I'm Tyler Gainey.
There we go. All right, so far off to a start that I expected.
That's fair. That's fair.
All right, guys, so we're doing this. Episode 0, the one no one will hear.
Wait, no one?
I mean, our family will hear, but then again, they're probably the only ones who are going to be listening to the rest of the series anyway, so.
My
Yeah,
Family,
won't hear.
friends.
That's true.
Mm.
Oh. Anyway, so why don't we talk about what the show's about?
All right, well, we are 3 best friends, so tight, so close, and basically every episode we give one of the others a terrible movie to watch and force them to review it. But the thing is, they do the same right back. So it's this every other week or so.
Mm-hmm. And, you know, sometimes those movies we pick have to do with things going on. Like, you know, it's early September right now, so I'm sure next month we might do something Halloween-related or Christmas-related when the time comes. But, yeah.
Oh, I have ideas for when Star Wars comes out.
Oh,
no.
boy.
I'm ready.
Can I do the
Oh,
Ewok
boy.
adventure?
Well, there are 2 of them, so there's a chance you could get
Wait,
one.
there's
Is that a
second one?
tier, friend?
Yeah, there are 2 Ewok
No.
adventures. They're both terrible. I own them both by complete accident.
Wait,
the way
live
Disney's
action
going, we'll probably get a 3rd one.
Live action?
Yeah,
Are
really.
those live action or cartoon?
I
They
do
are
remember
live
the cartoon
action.
and the Droids cartoon.
I do remember the cartoon. I actually enjoyed the cartoon when I was a child. But yeah.
See, I was always a Droids fan myself, but
Yeah.
to each his own.
But we're not going to talk about that here. That's between you and your therapist.
Oh my.
no, if I can't believe you've never heard of these. But yeah, there are 2 live action Ewok movies.
I've heard
They
of
were-
them. I just didn't know there was a second one, which is
No,
shocking.
Mason hasn't heard of them.
No, I've heard of at least one. I didn't know that. I too did not know there was a second one.
Do they follow each other, or are they completely separate?
Yeah, no, they basically the way ABC did it is they played one each Friday for 2 weeks. But I don't want to spoil it, but I watched the second one first, and the second one completely ruins any purpose of the first one. But Wilford Brimley's in it.
Who's in it?
Brimley.
Oh my gosh.
Wilford Brimley?
Diabetes.
Yeah. Diabetes. My
Yep.
pancreas hurts.
Which Ewok does he play?
Please.
He plays a crazy forest man who's crash landed on the moon.
Oh,
Avenger.
I
That
wanted
sounds
him to be like the-
awesome. Can we watch?
I wanted him to be the Papa Smurf of Ewoks.
No, I think the only Ewok that comes back is Warwick Davis as Wicket.
Do the Ewoks talk, or
And
how do
it's-
they communicate?
Wicket does learn some English, and it's really unclear on whether or not this takes place before or after Return of the
That's
Jedi.
creepy. He talks. Does
Yep.
his mouth move?
Huh.
Or
But the thing
no?
is, I don't remember.
Maybe George will go
I
back
remember
and
there's a
CGI his mouth moving. We'll see.
And make his eyes blink. But I remember in the first movie, there's a giant.
Wait.
And
Well,
it's
hold on.
absolutely
Wilford
terrifying.
Brimley plays a giant in an Ewok movie.
N-
I
No,
need to
Wilford
watch
Brimley's
this.
in the
Oh my
second
gosh.
All I can
It-
think
it
of
has
is the
the-
eyes now blinking, just from like Aunt May in Spider-Man. Those eyes, those horrible yellow eyes.
Finish the
It is-
prayer.
These two movies have the most terrifying imagery in any Star Wars movie.
I don't know. I don't
Worse than
know, but in
Dexter
any case,
Jettster?
That's a Chris. That's
His 50s diner.
in any case. That's you know.
So
That's a galaxy
one of the
far,
things,
far
though.
away from now, though.
Hold on, Mason. I got a segue.
You gotta.
and
I'm
it's
trying
perfect.
to segue. I'm helping segue.
Well, here's the thing. Not only do I want to talk about the bad
Mm-hmm.
movies that we watch, but I'd love to talk about what's going on with movies
Okay.
right now.
Okay.
And the news that just dropped today
Mm-hmm.
is that Colin Trevor is out as the director of Episode
Wait
9.
a minute. Hold up. You're telling me Disney got rid of another Star Wars director? That's so shocking to me.
But this guy didn't even get a chance.
Well, he
for
probably said
pre-production.
something creative, and they're like, "Oh, bye."
Well, you know the reason why people are thinking
Because
they
his
fired
last
him, right?
movie bombed.
Yeah, because Book of Henry was apparently terrible.
Wait, what movie?
It's a sequel to
Book
the
of
Book of
Henry?
Eli, but with the kid from Room.
I didn't.
You're
I
half
didn't-
right.
I didn't know. I never even.
Nobody
heard of that,
has. That's the
so-
problem.
Huh? Colin. He was. He did Jurassic
Mhm.
World, right?
And he did Safety
Yep.
Not Guaranteed, which is a
And-
wonderful film you should all seek out after this is over.
What I think is the case there is that probably they're getting more of an idea because I feel like they had no vision going into this new franchise
What? No.
with Star
Get out of
Wars.
here.
No, because I honestly, well, no. Like, I mean, it's becoming clearer and clearer that they said, let's play the best of Star Wars with Force Awakens, and then what resonates, that's what we'll write our sequel about. So, I mean, I feel like if the sequel, or if Force Awakens resonated more like a specific character, let's just say for the sake of the argument, Poe was more, came out like as the smash out star of it, he would have been the focus of this next film.
I
Like, they
don't.
would
I
have
wouldn't
just
go
been,
that
"All right,
far.
well, that's what we're
I wouldn't
doing."
go that far. They set up Rey.
I think,
mm,
yeah, okay, but I think they're leaving. All right, so obviously Rey, yeah, but if he, I think like with romantic interest, they kind of played everything surface level. Obviously, there were hints at a little bit of everything, but I think they left it open enough to like, all right, well, more people like X, so let's get him more involved in the plot, and who knows, maybe him and Rey, maybe, I don't know. So
Right.
I think they've left.
So they left things open ended so they can change anything
Yeah.
that the fans don't like.
Yeah, I think
Like-
they played ambiguity not for the sake of the mystery of the Force. They played ambiguity for the sake of what's going to be the most profitable.
We'll figure it out later.
Yeah, well,
kind
yeah,
of
we'll
thing.
figure it out later. And I'm getting so sick and tired of movies being like, well, that like directly quote Force Awakens. Well, that's a question for a better time. No, this is the film. We have questions here. These are supposed to be answered. Don't save it for a franchise. Give me a complete, concise story. I'm tired of franchise and world building.
You want a movie that just stands alone on its own.
Yes, and you know what? I get it's Star Wars, but even by and large, the prequels I know were able to stand on their own.
Well, I'll disagree with you a little bit there. They stand on their own enough that you could take 1 and 2 out of the prequels and you'd be fine with just 3. So I think there's somewhat of a case for a little bit more like things paying off, if that makes sense. Because
yeah,
what did trade routes have
But
to do with anything? They didn't. Like Palpatine had this like convoluted plan that George kind of made up as he went along, and it's very obvious.
Yeah,
and it never went anywhere.
Everything was means to an end, but at least there was a sense of, okay, this is building towards some. I don't know, but I don't like how they set everything up in Force Awakens, and it grates on me more and more as time goes by.
Right.
I mean, what particular, other than that, like, was it the fan servicey stuff that bothered you? Because that was my problem with Rogue One, is that was, once you take away all the fan service and the stuff there's not much of a movie left.
Yeah,
that's
and
fair.
Still, even with the fan service, the only part of the movie that's really good is the third act. Space
Yeah,
battle.
I could start
I
and
would
watch
say-
it there and be entertained, but I'm not invested in any of it.
I would say I could come in at, I think, Edu. It's the rainy, rocky planet. I think you could come in there and be fine. I think everything on Jeddah is just a complete waste of time. And the rewrites are very you can see them pretty clearly there. Because the one thing that grates on me more than anything in Rogue One is that every time they refer to Saul Guerrera, who's playing Saul Guerrera?
Matt
Forrest
Mickelson?
Whitaker.
No.
I don't remember
Forrest
any of the
Whitaker's
characters'
character.
names.
Forrest Whitaker. Forrest Whitaker's character. Every time they referred to him, they had to say it by name, like, "Oh, it's your friend Saul Guerrera." Every single time they brought the character up, they had to say him by name. I'm like, that's not how people talk, or how that.
Right.
And I know that's something.
Mason, you're correct.
Yeah.
Mason, I agree with you.
Thanks.
So, but I bring up the Colin Trevor thing to say, who do you think would be a good one for episode 9?
I think the Disney executives are going to direct it no matter what, so I don't care.
That's fair.
This is true. I'd love for Rain, however he says. I think it's Ryan. Yeah, Ryan Johnson. To stay on direct. Yeah, cool. I mean, he's doing 8. He's one of my favorite directors, even though I don't know how to say his name. But Brothers Bloom is one of my favorite movies. Brick is wonderful.
Did he do Looper?
And I've never seen Looper.
Looper's wonderful.
I've never seen it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
So I'd be fine with him staying on for episode 9, but
I would actually love to see Ray Bradbury.
I believe he's dead, isn't he?
Why did I say?
The guy who wrote Fahrenheit
Sorry.
451.
I don't know who that is.
He's dead.
I
don't
know
believe
why
he
I
directed
thought of
any
him.
cinema either. Correct
Brad
me if I'm
Bird.
wrong.
Brad Bird. I'm sorry.
how do you get Brad Bird?
Bradbury.
Brad
Bird.
Birdbury.
I don't know.
It's great.
I don't know. But yeah, Brad Bird I would actually like, because I feel like his films have.
Well, he turned down episode 7 to do
that
Tomorrowland.
was rough.
And we're so
Oh
glad
my
he
God.
did.
I like Tomorrowland.
I could not
It's a
sleep
guilty
at night
pleasure.
if Tomorrowland wasn't a film. So good on Brad.
All right, we'll get into Disney parks based films another time.
Tomorrowland is barely
but, yeah,
based
I think
on the ride, though. I mean, they all technically are.
Okay, but
Oh, we could do Tower of Terror starring Steve Guttenberg.
Oh please, you know we got to do Haunted Mansion with Eddie Murphy.
okay, guys, now we're getting into my territory. Please don't do this to me. I've had a
Poor
day.
guy.
I've had a day.
No, don't worry, Mason. Guillermo del Toro, he'll come
No,
on
he already
and direct
did.
your
It was
Haunted
called
Mansion
Crimson
movie.
Peak.
One day.
One eternity later.
Just like he's going to do Hellboy 3.
now
Oh,
you're
wait.
now you're hurting me.
Anyway, no, but seriously, Brad Bird's films I feel have the
You
the
said
scope
Bradbury
that you get
again.
with
I
Star
feel.
Wars. Brad Bird. Bird. Give me the bird.
I want my board.
Anyway, I feel like his films have the scope to accomplish the climax of this set of Star Wars stories, whatever it's building up to, and is also able to manage the family and relationships that you need that have been sorely missing, or that were sorely missed in the episode 7. I don't know where The Last Jedi is going to put us, but I think he would probably be very well equipped to handle whatever we get left with at the end of that.
No, you make a good point. I see it.
Okay.
But what if we brought George back?
Oh, which, it's like poetry. They rhyme.
It's so dense. Can I say director that I would want that would never ever happen?
Sure.
Terry Gilliam would make a freaking weird Star Wars movie.
Ooh.
I would
love for him to do an anthology.
I
Yeah,
think
Star Wars
anthology
story
films
thing.
are a waste of time, but sure. Go for it.
Yeah, but once they get past we have all these great characters we gotta do solo films with, and just do films in the Star Wars universe, he would be great.
Well, I think that's what they need to do. I think there are certain stories I would love to see. I would love to see this Obi-Wan Kenobi movie as a Western, sort of basically like a Logan almost. But do I need it? No. Would I really enjoy something like that? Yeah. And I'd love a yeah, I would still love my Boba Fett movie, but that, you know, I'm not dying for those. I'm not really dying for anything. Star Wars is just, you know, I'll take what is there and I enjoy it, but it's not like I'm clamoring anymore, you know.
I never thought I'd feel about Star Wars the way I feel
there you
about
go.
Marvel.
And there are only 2 films
I mean,
in.
to be fair, I never thought I'd feel about Marvel the way I feel about Marvel.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the movies.
Oh,
we
wow.
watched tonight.
Are we
How
getting
we gotta
back
do
on
this
topic after 20 minutes? That's great.
21 minutes.
We were on
please.
topic for maybe 10 minutes of those 20, I'm sure.
Okay, Winnie, I really want you to do Rhinestone first because I recommended it, and yeah, go.
Okay. I guess I can go
Walk
first.
us through
then.
it, bud. What's Rhinestone
Well,
about?
Rhinestone.
Actually, I'm going to interrupt real quick. I'm going to get a little segue here. We are doing 80s trash. That is the theme
wonderful.
for this episode.
Yeah. Episode 0, 80s
Okay, and
trash.
for the first movie, Winnie's going to take us away with Rhinestone from 1984.
Okay, so I wasn't clear on this, and I should have looked at it before. But is it called Rhinestone?
No, there is
or
a song
Rhinestone
called
Cowboy?
Rhinestone Cowboy, but the movie is just called Rhinestone.
Basically, Dolly Parton plays the character of Jake. She is.
I'm
singing
sorry,
at this
does
New
she
York-
play a man? Did you say Jake?
Her name is Jake, and it was very confusing whenever the characters were talking about, like, you know, wanting to date Jake or go skinny dipping with
is
Jake.
Jake short for something? Like Jacqueline?
If it is, they never establish
That's
that.
what I
Probably
was-
Jacqueline,
Jacqueline?
maybe, if anything.
Oh.
Wait, so this is a Wait. Now, I've never seen this movie. Are you telling me this is a film with Dolly Parton
And Sylvester Stallone.
Wow.
It's kind of like My Fair Lady.
Wait, is
but terrible.
Sylvester Stallone the fair lady?
My fair lady.
Oh
Yes,
my
he
gosh.
plays Audrey Hepburn in this.
What? I thought he would be the most. I would want to change
All right.
him into a fair lady, if either of them.
No, he is being turned
Does
into a
Dolly
fair lady.
Parton turn into Sylvester Stallone?
These are the
She'd like
facts we
to.
need to know.
All right, well,
Go for
if
it.
I can get the premise out.
Yeah.
She works at this club as a singer. It's country themed in New York City. She is not getting along with her boss, who is called Fred Hugo. So his initials are literally FU, and I feel like that's just what the movie's trying to say. But he doesn't want to let her out. He wants her to stick around and eventually sleep with him. So they make a bet that Dolly Parton can turn any bum off the street into a
my
rhinestone cowboy.
So wait a minute. Why is the song called Rhinestone Cowboy? Why do they refer to the name Rhinestone Cowboy if the name of the movie is Rhinestone? Like, I feel like the film could have just gone that extra step.
No, here's the thing. The movie does not reference the song at all. The song is never played, and I've never even heard Rhinestone Cowboy before.
I thought that plays at the beginning of the movie.
Nope, it's Dolly Parton
we
singing
would
some
sing
song.
you Rhinestone Cowboy, but then you two would pull us off. So
Cut to a very racist, stereotypical Asian family visiting New York. And then all of a sudden, we cut to this also racist stereotype of a New York Italian known as Sylvester Stallone, who he's playing Nick somebody. And he's a cab driver. And all he wants to do is drive his cab all over New York. So he's driving this family around. They're tourists. They want to go to a sushi bar. And basically, Stallone scares him so much just from talking to him. They're like, "Okay, you take us wherever you want. We want American food. We want Southern. Yeah, that'll be great." And he's like, "All right, I can take you to a place. Can't personally recommend it, but I can take you there." So this is when Dolly Parton and Frank go out on the street to find the man she can turn into a rhinestone cowboy, but who should appear in a wrecked cab but Sylvester Stallone. And as soon as he parks on the sidewalk with the front of his cab smashed in, the tourist family just books it out of the cab and runs away. This is the most terrifying thing they've ever seen in their life.
Where do they go?
I don't know. The movie's not about them. That's where they exit the
Will
film.
it be explained in Rhinestone 2?
Electric
No,
Boogaloo?
but I think they delve into it into the novel adaptation of the film.
I will look for it, and that will be your Christmas present.
Oh dear.
Now on Audible.com.
So Dolly goes to basically Stallone runs away after they propose this thing. He's not interested. Dolly Parton won't sleep with him, so he's out. He doesn't want to be a country singer. He doesn't want to be a rhinestone cowboy.
Mm-hmm.
So she finds the taxi service that he works for, and she's asking, "Okay, there was an accident. Surely you noticed one of the cabs was smashed up. I just need the name of the driver." And the boss is like, "I don't know who you're talking about. No crashes have been reported." And all of a sudden, who should come rolling up but Sylvester Stallone? Basically, the boss just fires him because the cab is smashed, and somehow it's Dolly Parton's fault. But that's never really established. Everyone thinks it's Dolly's fault that Sylvester Stallone loses his job for wrecking his cab. Even Dolly Parton thinks it's her fault, but in no way is it ever her fault.
How is her acting skill through this? I'm curious to know.
She's fine.
Really?
This is Dolly Parton. She hasn't gone full plastic yet,
Oh.
but she isn't completely human still. So she's kind of in the transition phase.
She's more machine now than man.
Like, we all know Dolly Parton as Hannah Montana's aunt from the hit Disney show.
No, I don't.
I mean, we were going to reference 9 to 5, but sure, Hannah Montana.
I was just going to make that one weird reference from Pinky and the Brain, but okay, go ahead.
See, the thing is, I always got Dolly Parton confused with Joan Rivers.
They are nothing alike. Not even close.
I don't know.
I always get water and gasoline confused.
I think that's an insult to Dolly Parton, actually.
I have no preference. Either way.
I would get her confused with Reba before I'd get her confused with
Yeah.
Joan
Oh, yeah,
Rivers.
totally.
I only know these two women because of the massive amounts of plastic surgery they've had and how obvious it is.
On their face.
Not just their face.
Okay.
Watch this movie and you will notice it's not just her face.
But I thought, never mind.
Did she get a tummy tuck, Mason? What else did she get?
Proceed.
They're walking through New York. Dolly Parton's pitching them, "Look, I gotta just turn you into a rhinestone cowboy. You can tear up my boss will tear up my contract. I won't have to work for him no more." And what is it? And she's like, "Yeah, you're probably not a singer or anything." He's like, "Oh yeah, I'm a singer. I got a big organ at home. Come home, come back to my place. I'll show you my big organ. I got this big organ." And they drag this joke out, and the only funny thing is there's a guy standing behind Sylvester Stallone and Dolly Parton who just keeps looking at Sylvester every time he says big organ. And eventually he just taps Stallone on the shoulder and just shoots him the thumbs up like, "Hey, respect, man. You got a big penis."
Now, Winifred...
That's what they're referencing?
This is a PG film, isn't it?
Yes, but I'm pretty... Had PG-13 been invented yet?
84, and it just come out later that year, probably, because Steven Spielberg hates children.
I mean, yeah, that's really the dirtiest the film gets.
I think my film got
They reference
dirtier.
Jockstrap. We'll get to your film.
Yeah, no, we will.
So Stallone brings Dolly back to his apartment, and it turns out he lives in a funeral home because his father is a funeral director. So,
There's like a literal organ. Oh my God.
Yeah, and he's playing the organ, and he plays a wonderful rendition of Tutti Frutti, but it sounds like he's having a stroke through the whole thing.
Oh.
He's just throwing his body around, screaming Tutti Frutti. Throughout this whole film, I started to realize this role was written for a Robin Williams type that could be wacky and fun and turn the mediocre material into something funny on set. Mm-hmm. And Stallone is trying, but that is the best thing you can say about him in this film. He is trying as hard as he can, and none of it's working. So anyway, for some reason, to have this training really stick, Dolly brings him from New York City to Tennessee to really make sure he can be a proper cowboy. They go back to her home farm, they see her daddy, they start talking about how a new hog has the biggest pig balls they've ever seen, and they invite Stallone to come see him. He declines, of course.
So you do not see the pig's balls in the film?
No, they mention them a couple times in multiple scenes, but there's no payoff.
So we have ball jokes and organ jokes. Do we have any boob jokes? Because I believe Dolly Parton is in the picture.
Well, no, Stallone keeps insisting that she is dressing immodestly, but that is as far as it goes. He keeps just going, "Look at how you dress. Look at how you dress."
I see, but where is the joke in that?
Oh, there
I don't think
is
there's
not
a
one.
joke there. I think it's just commentary, really, you know?
Commentary on Dolly Parton's breasts. I see. Okay.
No, just not even that, you know? It's just commentary on just how she's dressing, you know?
And what is he trying to say about
oh boy,
how she's dressing?
Moving on. So, to help Stallone become a country singer, they don't bother to practice music at all. It's just weird training on how to be a cowboy.
Wait, what?
That's the thing. Her method for teaching him how to be a country singer is to teach him how to be a proper cowboy.
So she doesn't spend time practicing musical instruments or working on his voice. It's just how to be a cowboy?
Yeah, she teaches him how to ride a cow.
How to be a boy.
How to walk next to a horse.
Because, you know, you do that on stage at a concert.
I've seen Neil Diamond do that quite a few times. Go on.
They've just completely missed any musical training. It is only how to be a cowboy. And they've completely left off the rhinestone part.
And this works.
So eventually... No, not really.
Okay.
Because here's the thing. Sylvester... I don't know why I keep calling him Sylvester. Stallone is feeling like he's not getting any of this, and he's really annoyed. I mean, this is like a fish out of water story. He's a New York Italian boy. He's not used to this country life. He thinks all these hicks are crazy.
Whoa.
So basically, he starts calling Dolly Parton a stick in the mud, and she gets upset and starts calling him a bum. And it turns out calling Stallone a bum is the equivalent of calling Marty McFly chicken. Like, this is the worst insult you could ever give to Stallone. He has a deep down fear of becoming a bum. He goes into this later in the film. But I have friends that became bums. I had a cousin that became a bum. A girl I took to prom, she's like a bag lady, and that's like a 5 times bum right there.
And when they call him a bum, do they make any butt jokes?
Nope.
I'm just trying to keep tabs on this. Okay.
Please, Tyler, this is a highbrow film.
Obviously. Yes. The highest.
So Stallone gets up and leaves the dinner table, and he goes walking down this dirt road in the middle of the night. Mm-hmm. And all of a sudden, this never comes back into play. This scene just happens. And a truck is coming up behind him in the fog, and Stallone's like, "Thank God, a taxi! A taxi!" And he calls him over, and this truck just comes by, and there's some farmer in there, and he's just looking at him, and Stallone jumps back. He's freaked out by this man. And he's like, you know what? Never mind. My car's just down the road. And the farmer's just looking, "Get in the truck." No, I'm good. "Get in the truck." And the only thing this guy says to him is, get in the truck. No, get in the truck. And the scene goes on for like 5 minutes of Stallone trying to make excuses, and this man is insistent that Stallone get in the truck. And finally, he just drives off without Stallone. He is visibly upset. and that never comes back into play.
What?
This man seemed to want to kidnap Stallone. Stallone talked his way out of it, but that's it.
So, do you think the screenwriter was just like, nah, we won't do that?
It's the promise of a darker world, you know. It's just that saying, hey, there's a dark world out of there, but we're over here on the light. It's a common technique in writing.
I did find out the writer of this film hated it so much he wanted his name removed from the film, but one of his partners like, no, it'll be really good for you to have your name attached to such a big film. And then it came out.
And what did this man do after?
Ooh, I don't know. I kind of want to look that up. But while I'm looking that up, I'll keep discussing. So Stallone finds his way to a bar where this other country singer is just, going. He's a local, but he's singing for the entertainment of the crowd, like, the 5 drunks that are there. Turns out this is Dolly Parton's ex, and he's jealous of Stallone. But here's the thing. They get drunk together and become really close friends. And Stallone learns more from getting drunk with this guy than anything Dolly Parton teaches him. Like,
who is this guy again? I'm lost. Hold on.
All right, his name is Barnett Cale. He is Jake, Dolly Parton's ex-boyfriend, and he's a jealous ex.
Is he a good character or nah?
I mean, he's your blanket antagonist.
Okay.
But they seemingly hit it off at first. Stallone and him have a couple drinks. The weird thing is I noticed that there was an extra just pouring salt into his beer before he'd drink it. He just shake a little.
What?
So Stallone and this guy, what's his name? Barnett, are sitting next to each other at the bar, and the one guy that's also sitting there is just sprinkling salt in his beer and then drinking it.
Maybe that was the writer of the film.
Oh, okay. So the writer is Phil Robinson. He also wrote Field of Dreams.
He did fine.
A film called Sneakers.
Oh, that's a good movie. That's got Dan Aykroyd in it. Okay.
And he wrote Fletch. I love Fletch.
Well, there you go.
Didn't Fletch come out before Rhinestone?
Yeah.
Fletch came out a year after Rhinestone.
Really?
Okay, so
I thought that was
fine.
late 70s.
I did too.
Fletch is 85.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Same year
Like,
as
wow.
Marty McFly. Wow.
So, they have a good night out drinking. So Stallone learns how to do a country accent through being drunk. But then him and Barnett get into a bit of a, they become rivals for Dolly Parton's affection. Because, out of nowhere, Stallone just develops a crush on Dolly. For no reason. They have no chemistry, but boy, does Dolly like him back. So, anyway, there's so much. I don't even know what to talk about. Stallone's first number is called Drunkenstein, and it's about how, I think it was Miller Lite has turned him, or Budweiser. Budweiser has turned him into a drunk, and his name is Drunkenstein.
That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
It's pretty terrible.
That sounds like it could be an actual country song that could be successful. So,
The thing is, the music in this film isn't bad unless Stallone is a part of it.
So is this a musical movie?
Okay.
Is it a musical movie?
No, but they take time for Dolly to sing her songs, and Dolly's fine. She's a fine
That's because
singer.
she's Dolly.
Yeah, it's good music, but throughout the whole thing, Barnett is trying to fight Stallone for Dolly. But the thing is, Dolly can hold her own. She's the first one to punch Barnett in a drunk bar fight, and Stallone feels really emasculated by the whole thing. He's like, "You gotta let me throw the first punch." At the end of the film, when Frank is trying to essentially forcefully have sex with Dolly,
You mean rape?
it's a very rapey situation. Stallone bursts in the room to save her, and Frank just comes flying out the room because Dolly has just beat the crap out of him. And Stallone's telling her, "You can't do that. I am the hero. I need to be the good guy. I need to punch
Your
him."
Stallone sounds like Bill Cosby.
We'll get there.
Well, then it'll come in perfect later. So
Okay.
I thought maybe to this film's credit, they'll get back to New York, and Stallone will actually be terrible. The movie will acknowledge that Stallone is terrible at this, but nope. They get back to New York, even though the club owner has paid off the crowd to fight to just boo everything Stallone says. Stallone somehow is able to win them over by just working the crowd. He's like, all right, can I hear all the beautiful women say hey? And a couple girls go, hey. And then he goes, let me hear all the horny women say hey. And the crowd goes nuts with Hayes.
Wait, what's the closing number?
I don't know. It ends with Stallone and Dolly kissing. But I do not know any of the songs. I'm not a country fan. But apparently, I was reading Dolly Parton is so proud of the music in this movie. She has redone some of the songs later in her career. She's very proud of the music, and I don't blame her. The songs she sings are really good.
Yeah, you think that's you think it's merited? Like,
yeah.
Okay.
I mean, personally, Drunkenstein is my favorite because it's so ridiculous. But Stallone says if he could have not done any of the films he ever made, this one was one of them.
Okay.
Wait, so Stop or My Mom Will Shoot would still get made?
Let's not mention that. I'm going to give that to one of you guys later. Come on.
Ah, crap. You know who wrote that movie? The guy who wrote Save the Cat. So.
Really?
Yeah, the textbook we had to read in film school was written by the guy who penned the script Stop or My Mom Will Shoot.
Huh.
I knew he didn't know what he was talking about when he said Robin Williams' Genie was a bad character.
Yeah, that's the one thing that stuck with me from that book. I think he has some standard good ideas in there and some good points, but yeah, that kind of threw out his credibility.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Yep. So Dolly teaches Stallone to sing. She gets out of her contract. Her and Stallone become a thing. It's weird because throughout the whole movie, Stallone, all he wants is to be able to drive his cab. He wants a new cab that he can drive for himself, and he doesn't have to worry about a boss or anything. Then all of a sudden, when he thinks he becomes a great singer, he thinks him and Dolly are going to become a duet. What is it called? They'll become music partners.
Uh-huh.
And for some reason, understandably, Dolly's like, what? I wasn't part of the deal. So this is the third act riff. This tears them apart. But, in the end, they come right back together, sing their song, and everything's happy.
Does Stallone get to drive his taxi?
No, he doesn't care about the taxi anymore.
Oh,
He learned the true meaning of life is singing, not driving a taxi cab.
I was hoping it would kind of end like Grease style, and like a souped up taxi would come and they'd get in and like fly off in it, all Grease style. No.
But it would have to be a horse, a rhinestone covered horse, which Stallone does ride to go save Dolly. He literally rides a horse.
Okay, well that's fair.
That's covered in rhinestones?
Could have been a rhinestone taxi at the end.
Because, well, the funny thing is, he comes bursting in. Oh, the villain lives in Trump Tower. They clearly show that the exterior of this man's apartment is in Trump Tower.
Interesting.
And Stallone comes bursting into the lobby riding a horse, and security's yelling at him, "You can't bring a horse in here. What are you doing? Are you crazy?" And Stallone just gets down, gets in the elevator, looks at him and goes, "I'm going to Frank Hugo's office." And security just stops and goes, "Oh yeah, that makes sense. Yeah."
Did they actually say that?
They literally say that. And another security guard comes in. "What's this horse doing here?" And like, "This guy's going to go see Frank Hugo." Security goes, "Yeah, nope. Again? This is happening again?" Of course.
Wait, that's actually kind of funny.
Oh, this film is very funny just for all the wrong reasons. Any jokes it tries to make, they do not land. Stallone does not know how to deliver them. But there are quite a few funny things in it. Oh, Tyler, one of your favorites, Daffy Duck gets a shout out after Stallone wakes up from a night of drinking in a duck pond.
Wait, what?
To give you an idea of the quality of comedy this film has is Stallone wakes up drunk. He wakes up hungover from a night of drinking, and there are ducks all around him. And, Dolly finds him and, "What are you doing?" He's like, "Oh, I was just hanging out with Daffy here."
Was this a prequel to Looney Tunes Back in Action?
Probably.
Not even close.
Space
Not even
Jam,
close.
maybe.
I would watch that. If Dolly Parton and Stallone teamed up with the Looney Tunes to play, like, I don't know, shuffleboard.
Kill the
like,
web,
you know, if-
kill the web.
See, I can pull a better Space Jam sequel out of my...
Oh boy.
Oh.
So, okay.
I would watch that.
To give you an idea of it, if this film had been made today, Stallone would have had to make an Affleck joke. Like, it's just
I
always
even
staring
think
at
that
a duck.
joke would be too old by then.
I don't know.
That is essentially Rhinestone Cowboy.
It's not called that,
Rhinestone.
but okay.
It's so bad. It's so bad.
I still think you got the best of the three. I'm just saying.
I'm not denying that.
Speaking of which, Mr. Yaney.
This is not the worst
What were
film
you
I've
doing?
seen, but it's not good.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
It's worth a rent. I wouldn't buy it. I wouldn't destroy the film if I had an opportunity, but I'd say it's worth a watch.
Really?
If you're a fan of Stallone's bad films, totally worth it. And if you're a fan of Dolly Parton,
Okay,
in
I
any
was not
sense,
expecting that from you.
I'd say
Yeah,
I'd say
could see that.
you two would get a kick out of it if you watched it.
I know I have seen it, and I did get a kick out of it.
I have not
So-
seen it. I have not seen it.
I'd say go for it.
Okay.
All right. So now we'll move on to Mason and the film I gave you.
Me?
Yes.
Okay.
So-
I was.
Let me.
What?
I gave Mason a film I have wanted to watch since middle school, called Leonard Part 6, starring Bill Cosby.
I had no idea until I started the movie last night that this was a Bill Cosby movie. I had no idea what I was walking into. So I started watching it, and from the minute it started, I was confused. So just to kind of fill you in, what Leonard Part 6 is about, it is a 1987 spy parody film where Bill Cosby is the titular Leonard. And what happens is he left the CIA because his wife found him with another woman, which he was saying it was a misunderstanding. And of course, there are certain, obviously, current topical jokes he could add in there, especially when he mentions that the young lady was 19.
Oh no.
Yeah, I just sat here going, oh no.
So you're
Oh my
you're
God.
saying Leonard Part 6 has been yelling, in fact screaming from the past, trying to warn us, but we all just ignored it.
Yes. So he quit the spy biz to win his wife back. And it's been 7 years and he still hasn't. And he's become like a restaurant owner. And this is where things get weird, if it hasn't already gotten weird. There's a vegetarian terrorist that's not just a weird character trait, that's like literally their identifying factor.
They will win the
And-
world over and destroy any meat eaters, or
They want to destroy the world because they've been able to create a device that can control animals. So the film begins with another agent being eaten alive by a rainbow bass. A rainbow trout.
By a
rather.
what?
A rainbow trout.
Okay.
That's acting like a bulldog. It's very strange. I don't know what is going on in it. Anyway, he has to go back in. His wife, denies him because his daughter is engaged to marry this old man who's a director in a play she's in or whatever. So it's kind of his in to talk to his wife again, and she pours food on him. I don't know. And so he's like, well, then I guess I'm just going to go back to work. He goes back to work
he goes
as a spy.
Oh, okay, as a spy.
Spying. And it's stupid. It's just dumb things. He goes to this fortune teller who gives him random things that always come in handy.
So wait, is his goal then to stop this vegetarian terrorist?
Yeah, the CIA get in touch with him to be like, hey, you need to stop this terrorist.
You can't even make a good pun or a joke.
Wait, do they call them vegetarians?
No, but it's just I'm trying to make something out of this madness.
Okay.
Bill Cosby himself disowned and denounced the film, like don't see it in the weeks leading up to the release. So that's saying something here. I don't know what happened. Like I was actually watching the time code, hoping I was like checking every time, like are we close to ending this, because it's just nonsensical. It is nonsensical.
So you're saying the man that promoted Ghost Dad tried to tell people not to go see Leonard Part 6.
Leonard Part 6. Honestly, the funniest part to me personally was there's narration through pretty much the whole film by his butler, and the butler explains that this is his sixth adventure, hence Part 6. There were 5 other adventures, but they were deemed too sensitive for public, so they were kept away. So I was like, oh, that's
this
funny.
is the only decent one they could find.
That's the only decent joke in the film. It's like,
so the only joke that works is the title.
Yeah, literally the only thing that works is the title. And I thought, and it's not even that it's a joke. It's just a fun little bit of, oh yes, this is, it doesn't make any sense. In the end, he ends up taking down the thugs of this vegetarian woman's horde by just slapping meat patties on them, and it burns them.
What?
Yes, that is how he ends up taking them down. And he's doing, keep in mind, through this film, he does ballet. He's driving some sort of weaponized Miata with a tank on top. He rides, his main way of escape at the end of the film, at the climax, is riding an ostrich out of a burning building, which flies temporarily. And what else? It's madness.
Does he I feel like I've seen a clip of him sword fighting with a hot dog or something.
He shoves a hot dog
in
a man's mouth.
Oh, alright.
Oh my, okay.
Yeah.
Would be the first time he's shoving hot dogs into
Oh
places,
my
but, okay.
gosh.
Oh my gosh. We're gonna stray from the topical jokes for now.
Alright, one more. Mason, would you say this film put you to sleep?
Oh.
Well, anyway.
Have I told you my thing with Bill Cosby?
What?
Okay, so in middle school and early high school, I had really bad anxiety and I couldn't fall asleep. So to help me fall asleep, I would listen to Bill Cosby albums. And
oh my gosh.
They would, they were funny. They'd calm me down and I'd fall asleep. I tried to do this later in college, after a rough day. I'll just put on a Bill Cosby album, and that'll put me to sleep. And it was so creepy and so terrifying. I'm just I feel really uncomfortable falling asleep listening to this man's voice.
The thing is, throughout this film, his acting is just, Stallone in yours was trying. He wasn't trying here. He was just, I suppose I'll go back to work now.
Well, now your Bill Cosby sounds like Morgan Freeman.
Yeah, no. See,
can nobody do Bill Cosby?
I guess not. But he just doesn't care in this film. It's so obvious he does not. He is just there for a paycheck, or he's just there for. I don't even know why he's there, honestly, because this
did he write the film?
I don't think so.
I'll look. Keep going.
I don't think so. To kind of give you an idea how well this did.
Okay, a quick update. He did write the story. He did not write the screenplay, and he did produce the film as well.
Okay, well, yeah. So it's just incredibly phoned in. Just to give people a sense of how well this did, the production budget was $24 million. The marketing was $9 million. In the box office, from what I'm seeing here, it made $4.6 million.
Oh my gosh.
So it didn't even make half. It barely made half of its marketing budget there. It's terrible. It's terrible. It's weird. Half the film looks like it was made out of what was left over from The Wiz. Honestly, I just felt this weird sense of that. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, we're talking like this is like the refuse of the Pluto Nash of the '80s, to give you,
Ooh.
an idea of what this is. Yeah,
That's definitely saying something.
but Pluto Nash at least had like a budget and had like production design. This had houses, really nice houses, but houses and a warehouse that they made look
They
seedy.
broke into the houses
That's
at
it.
night to film.
Probably, or it's literally Bill Cosby's house, circa 1987.
Oh boy.
So, yeah, this is weird and not in a very entertaining sense.
Mhm.
I don't know if I'd suggest watching it fully, but I'd definitely check out clips because it's pretty ridiculous. I'd like if I could find a best of clips. There are some things that's just like what that you just I never thought I would need to see on film.
The YouTube channel I Hate Everything has a pretty good review of the movie, from what I can
Yeah.
recall. I'd suggest watching that instead of watching the film.
Yeah, no, this is definitely a film where you want to watch a clip based review on it because yeah, I wouldn't watch the whole thing. It's not worth your time. It's not worth the hour and 20 minutes, and that's a kids film, at the end of the day. So
Oh wow.
yeah.
All right, so Tyler, what did Mason give you?
Okay, is it my turn already?
Yep.
All right, well, let's get this over with. First of all, little preamble. He gave me Toxic Avenger, which is a trauma, low-budget film from 1984. And
Okay.
I'd seen clips of this before because I follow a lot of sites and podcasts and things that talk about bad movies, and that's been brought up a couple times. So when Mason suggested it, it's like, oh, yes, I lucked out. This should be good. This should be...
Yeah, because it's got kind of a cult following.
It
now,
does.
doesn't
It has a huge cult following. It had comic books. It had a TV show. It had like 3 sequels.
Oh, boy.
This is pretty. Have either of you seen it before I go on?
I've never even heard of this film before tonight.
Okay.
Now, I believe it's set in New Jersey.
Well, with the word like
it's
toxic, it has to be.
it's a fictional city of Tromaville. I don't think they mentioned New Jersey.
I don't know.
It
For
looks
some
like
reason,
New Jersey.
Well, yeah. For some reason, Toxic Avenger has always been tied in with Jersey for some reason. I don't know why, but I actually have my current manager at work actually as a kid was an extra in this film. So that's just when we were deciding what to watch. That kind of what is what helped me decide that, oddly enough.
It's that personal connection.
Yeah, but I've never seen it. It's that personal connection. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh my! I just looked up on
All
the
right.
IMDb, and the first picture, and I'm like, oh, okay, nope, I don't want to watch this.
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
Okay, so the
Okay.
tagline is, he was 98 pounds of solid nerd until he became the Toxic Avenger, the first superhuman hero from New Jersey.
There you
Okay,
go.
that was in the poster. I did not know that. Okay.
Due to the nature of this film, no one under 17 will be admitted. Oh no.
Well, first, a little background on what trauma is. It's like the very American version of canon films. They're super low budget, and they started off doing skin flicks, like nudie films, and then they were known for, and Toxic Avenger actually started this, really gory shock films, I guess. So really lowbrow stuff. Fun facts about trauma: James Gunn, who did Super and the Guardians of the Galaxy movies, actually got a
Yep.
start. He wrote Tromeo and Juliet. And they are apparently still going today, but Toxic Avenger is what put them on the map. Which, oh boy.
Oh.
Okay.
Wait. Did he wrote Romeo and Juliet? The one with
He wrote, no, not Nomeo, Tromeo.
What is Romeo
Tromeo.
and Juliet?
You could show the kiddies Nomeo and Juliet. Do not show the children Tromeo and Juliet.
Why?
And completely,
It's not going to be appropriate. It's not going to be appropriate.
Okay.
It's another nudie flick with all kinds of shock value. I haven't seen it, but I've researched it a little bit.
And James Gunn went straight from this to Scooby-Doo.
He did.
Oh, are you
Which
serious?
I don't know which I would rather leave off my resume, but there you go.
Oh dear.
Huh.
Okay, all right. So what's this film about?
All right, where to begin with this thing? Okay, so it's first of all, the film looks like it was shot on a consumer grade camcorder, and the editing is just awful. Like it will cut like off of a word someone's saying to the next scene or the next shot.
Oi.
Really?
It's bad, and the audio's bad. Like every time you hear a T or an S, you hear that. It's a shoddy production, but it was probably made for a couple bucks. It looks that way. So stereotypical 80s opening, right? We're at a health club. We get lots of bouncing boobs and people working out.
Oh, because the health club is typical 80s.
Well, if like for like lower budget stuff, like what was that movie?
Death Spa?
Yeah, Death Spa. Yep, that's one.
I have
And then there was-
never heard of that.
And then there's another one that was on that show, like Killer Workout, I think it was called.
Sure. Why not?
Killer Workout?
So lots of low budget schlock is in the health club, and it's got that opening. First of all, the soundtrack is awful. It's just generic 80s sounding songs that they could get the rights to, played one after the other.
Like Suicide Squad.
With Night on Bald Mountain thrown in occasionally. Okay.
What?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. Because every other scene, it's terrible 80s sounding trash. But whenever Toxic Avenger, or Toxie as he's called, is walking around, you hear Night on Bald Mountain. But anyways, let me get to the story real quick, because there's not much to it, but let me just fill you in. So we got a little geeky guy named Melvin, and he's the janitor at the health spa, and like there's nothing likable about him. He's just playing a generic nerd who's like, oh golly, it's annoying, whatever. So then you got all the cool kids at the workout place, and they have a weird hobby where they like to mow people down with the car.
What?
Yeah,
As
and
you
photograph
do.
it, and photograph it. Like the first 10 minutes of the movie, we see a little boy get murdered and his head get run over and explode like a watermelon.
What?
Yeah.
It's
10-year-old boy's on a bike, and the girl's like, yeah, 28 points and you hit the kid on the bike. Okay.
It's at least nice that they're taking photographs for evidence to show to police later.
No, they come back to the scene and take photographs for later, like they get off on them or something, and it's weird.
What?
Okay.
Is it a
But we're
mental
gonna move
health
right
problem?
along.
Is that it? Do they need help mentally?
I wish. No, it's just those characters. But we're gonna put that aside for the time being, and because the movie does, and we're gonna go back to our friend Melvin.
Ah, yes.
So
Good old Melvin.
Some blonde bimbo invites Melvin into the locker room or whatever, and it's like, I broke up with my boyfriend. Come to this room at this time, and we will have the sex. And he's like, okay. And she's like, but you gotta wear pink. I love pink. And he's like, okay. So she hands him a little pink polka dotted tutu, and he goes to the pool around 7, and it's completely pitch black. And she's like, come and kiss me, Melvin. So he starts kissing, and the lights go on, and everyone's laughing at him because he's making out with a goat in a bikini.
Oh.
I really don't feel like you need lights on to know you're kissing a goat. I feel like
Yeah,
that comes
so-
off clear in the dark.
So they laugh him out of the building until he falls out of a window. Oh, I didn't even set this part up. Okay, back up for a minute. While this is all going on, this truck full of toxic waste pulls up near the health spa.
As you do.
Yes, you do. It's a Saturday. Why not? And they're like, hey, I would like to do some blow in front of this health spa. And the other guy with him in the truck is like, sure, that sounds fun. So they do some blow until Melvin comes crashing out of the window into the toxic waste. And so long story
Okay.
short, he becomes the Toxic Avenger, and he's this deformed thing that's superhuman, and now he's not a dweeb no more. He's got like a masculine voice, but he also makes Hulk noises like he's an animal, so I don't know. And he's obviously dubbed.
So
But bear with
so
me. There's more.
It's like a demented Captain America origin story.
Yeah.
Or sloth.
With a little bit of sloth in there. That is, you have hit the nail right on the head, my friend. Okay, so the Toxic Avenger starts foiling crimes. And this movie really hates the gays for some reason, because if you're not a good person, you are a homosexual in this movie.
Oh dear.
Really?
Yeah, like the gang members are like wearing wigs and are like trannies or something. And Toxic Avenger saves a cop and kills them all, so that's cool. But anyway, so he keeps stopping crimes, whatever. And next we get to this Burger King looking place, but like the Burger King's been blurred out. No, it's a taco joint.
Okay.
I'm sorry, it's a taco joint. I don't know where I got off there. And there's this blind woman with her dog, and they're enjoying some tacos, and there's kids playing, and everyone's having a good time at the taco joint, as you do. As you do. And the thugs from earlier come in and want the money, but they also like killing people. And like they point a gun at the baby. There's a baby there. They don't shoot it. I thought they would after the kid thing. But guess what? They shoot the blind woman's dog. Is blown away. The blind woman's dog is gone.
Does
and
she
they have
notice?
this little carcass they keep cutting back to, and I'm like, this has some tonal problems. All right. So anyways, Toxic Avenger comes in and beats up all the baddies. But get this. He and the blind woman have a romantic connection.
Wait, so it's not like an old blind woman. It's like a blind woman, a younger woman that's blind.
A hot blind woman. A hot young blonde blind woman.
Now they're just ripping off the thing.
So long story short,
Or did the thing rip this off?
Toxic Avenger gets revenge on the little murderous guys who tormented him at the beginning and kills other people. Oh, I didn't even get this part. Okay, so there's this fat mayor who's like morbidly
How do you
obese.
forget the fat mayor?
I don't know, but he's actually crucial to the plot, so I'm bringing him back. Okay, so the fat mayor hangs out in the massage parlor of the health spa, and he's like running all the crime in the city. And they keep cutting back, and I don't know why this poor actor would agree to do this, but he's got these layers of fat that are just being massaged by like bikini bimbos.
I think you just answered your own question.
He looks like kind of a giant Wilford Brimley from the Ewok movie, I guess. And he's always eating stuff, and he's got this mustache, and he wants to get rid of Toxic Avenger. So now we're at the third act. Are you ready for this?
Wrap it up. Let's go. Let's see what it is.
No context. Toxic Avenger comes into this laundromat and beats up this old woman and like irons her and throws her in the wash until she's dead. And then the audience is like, well, why is Toxic Avenger doing that? And then the mayor's like, well, this would be good. We'll put this spin on it that he murders old ladies. But then we find out that the old lady was a white slaver, and that's why she was murdered.
She was what?
She was a white slave owner, and that's why Toxic...
In New Jersey?
It was set in modern times, but she had slaves.
Like,
how?
I
had
don't
she
know.
previously owned slaves, or she currently was owning slaves?
Currently owns slaves, and we've never met this character before now. So they just spin it like, oh, so he murdered this nice old lady we found on set, but she hates the blacks, so it's okay.
Oh my gosh.
So Toxic Avenger and his blind lady friend went to the forest, and then all the townspeople were like, no, we like Toxic Avenger, we like him. But then the fat mayor's like, no, I'm gonna call the National Guard, and everyone gangs up on Toxic Avenger. So the Toxic Avenger rips out the fat mayor's heart and says, let's see if you have any guts. And then he rips them out. And then the movie's over because everyone's okay with that, I guess. And that was Toxic Avenger.
Wait. Does it end does it end just with him pulling out the heart?
It
and
ends
getting
shortly
a
after where everyone's like, oh, Toxic Avenger, you've saved us again.
Truly, you have taught us, crime
The
is
meaning
bad.
of love. Okay, that works too.
All right, back to my original point why something like Rhinestone is more watchable than this is because Rhinestone is unintentionally bad, and what pisses me off about Toxic Avenger is that it knows it's trash and is trying to be funny. Like, it's like that movie that's trying to be bad, and because of that, it just comes off as cynical, and it just makes you angry the whole time. Whereas something like Rhinestone or The Room was made with sincerity, and that's why it's funny, because they failed.
Other people's failure is always much more funnier than people trying something sincerely.
That's Schadenfreude.
And sometimes they just wanted you to laugh at shocking things, like a dead dog or a dead child, and...
But isn't that a lot of movies today, though?
Not a lot of movies will just kill a kid or a dog to make you laugh.
I don't know. I think there are a lot of movies now that
Name
would do that.
one.
Probably anything involving Seth Rogen.
They wouldn't kill a dog.
No, they wouldn't kill a kid. Not in a Seth Rogen movie.
Sausage Party.
I've never seen it.
Oh, Sausage Party, they do kill people.
I know someone else here.
You're right. No.
Yeah.
But they don't kill a kid.
I would say that maybe a kid was involved in some of the events that happened at the end of the film, unfortunately.
Yeah.
In any case, Tyler, would you recommend this? In what sense would you recommend this to someone?
I don't know. I know there's an audience for this, so if you're curious, rent it. I did. But it's not something I'd ever watch again. I don't want to see the sequels. It was unpleasant. It was miserable. I didn't like any of the characters. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention this. Toxic Avenger and the Blind Woman make sweet love, while Toxic Avenger still has pants on somehow.
Well,
it's because he was wearing the tutu. The tutu protected his bits.
Winnie shouldn't see it because there's boobies galore and there's.
Trust me, I
really
I do not plan on seeing this.
No.
I didn't know that there was that. I apologize.
No, I don't care. I mean, there's people banging. There's boobies flopping around. It's whatever. I
mean, Mason, I have to ask: did your boss play the kid that got killed?
I would not be surprised, but I doubt
that would be awesome, actually. I would like to meet that man.
That would actually be fascinating. I'll have to ask him when I go in tomorrow.
You must ask what part he played in this piece of garbage.
Yeah.
All right, so that wraps up the films, and I think the segment I would love to end on is, at the moment, I'm calling a palate cleanser. Just, something to wash this terrible taste out of our mouths after watching these terrible movies.
Okay, I like that.
So, what have you guys been watching or reading, or what's something you've been enjoying right now? I can go first if you guys need to think.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, we should go in the order that we told the movies.
Okay.
So it'll go you, me, and then Danny.
Sounds good.
Okay.
I have not watched any really good films lately, but there's this one YouTube video right now that just brings a smile to my face every time I watch it. It's on the YouTube channel called Super Mega, and the video is called My Two Lovely Uncles. And it's this song by a kid who loves his two uncles, and they go out to have fun and go to get them ice cream, but they see a flyer for a trip to Syria. And the two uncles go to Syria, and this is the kid's song about how he misses them. But it's been their dream trip to go to Syria. I do not want to spoil what happens once they get to Syria, but it is so funny, and I love listening to it, even though it's sung terribly from a 9-year-old's voice.
Okay.
It's a grown man, but he's playing a 9-year-old, and it's so much fun.
That's great.
All right.
I highly recommend you look up My Two Lovely Uncles.
Is it lovely or ugly?
Okay.
Lovely.
Lovely. Okay.
Two ugly uncles.
I kept hearing that.
All right. So mine, it's a film that came out a while ago now. But I'm just getting around to watching it. I was on a long train ride yesterday. So I watched Seeking a Friend for the End of the World.
So good.
Right, you accidentally messaged me about this yesterday.
Yes, I meant to send you that one. I just didn't mean to send you that I was in the car with my dad. But yeah, it is, have you both seen it?
I've seen parts of it, and I did enjoy it.
yeah, watch the whole thing. It is an incredibly sobering film to me. I was on the train when it reached its end. And I'm not going to spoil what happens at the end, but I was containing a lot of emotion, so I actually rewatched it this morning when I was alone in my apartment, just so I could just get out the full emotional everything I was feeling.
You had to cry, but you didn't want to cry publicly on the train.
Yeah, I got filled up, but I wanted to allow that to fully get out because it was that good, that sobering, and just it is an incredibly human film. It's funny because I didn't know where the film was going, and at the beginning it feels like it's gonna take that comedy route of, oh, the world's ending, so we're just gonna get debauched and have some fun. But then it takes a complete left turn. At least it felt that way to me, and just turns into this beautiful, one of the most beautiful love stories I think I've ever seen put the film. So I highly recommend it if you have time where you can cry alone and not be judged.
Or if you're man enough to cry in public.
Yeah, well, no, not that cry. That was an ugly cry.
Again, if you're man enough to ugly cry in public, seeking a friend at the end of the world is for you.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, Jamie?
I have two things, if that's okay.
Go for it.
All right, I'd like to start with the second one, if that's okay with you.
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't think.
Okay.
I think that makes it the first one,
Okay,
but
so
I'm not going to argue semantics
number two,
with you.
I got the Alien Quadrilogy box set recently, and with those 4 films comes like 3-hour documentaries on the making of each film.
Oh, okay, that's nice.
And
that makes it worth it.
And like the Alien 3 one is probably the most brutally honest special feature I've seen from a major studio about how they screwed up this movie.
Interesting.
And I highly recommend it. I am in the midst of Alien Resurrection, which is one of my least favorite films of all time, but the documentary is fascinating.
And you're one of the few people that actually like Alien 3.
I like Alien 3, and I like Alien Covenant, and I like Prometheus, and people apparently don't like those for some reason, but that's a topic for another time. If you do watch Alien 3,
I passed
watch
out
the
the
assembly
movie
cut,
theater.
which is about half hour longer, and it's much better and more coherent.
Okay. All right, so what's the first thing you enjoyed?
Number one, I watched David Cronenberg's The Fly, but I also watched the original Fly. I hated the original Fly, but I love...
Was that one from like the
1958,
50s?
It has Vincent Price in it.
Oh, how could you hate Vincent Price?
And he's great, but he
wonderful.
disappears for the whole second act,
Vincent
and
Price.
he's the best part of the movie. Yeah.
What?
So does that mean you enjoyed the Jeff Goldblum
Yes,
rendition?
it's so good, guys. You both need to watch it.
Okay. How in what context is it good?
All the context. Like, I think it's actually a legitimately good movie, but there's some schlocky elements that I like.
Okay.
Jeff Goldblum is at his most Jeff Goldblumiest. Even when he's turning into a giant...
Even more than A Lost World?
Well, Jeff Goldblum's no fun in that movie.
Oh, okay.
Jeff Goldblum is still his Jeff Goldblumiest, even when he's like a giant pink fly monster. And he's like ripping off his ear and his fingernails and stuff, and it's so gross, but the effects are fun, and I highly recommend it. Like, because I was thinking the other day, like, what's a film where the remake is miles better than the original? And that's my answer, because I watched the original Fly, and I didn't much care for it, because not much happened in it.
That's interesting. I know something I want to do pretty soon is I want to watch the reboot of RoboCop and then go back and watch the original RoboCop.
That's another thing. I've seen RoboCop 2 and 3 finally, because RoboCop is amazing, so good.
Yeah. I know you love RoboCop, and this is kind of what's inspired me to do this and see what I think of RoboCop after watching the reboot.
Okay. I haven't. The reboot's the only thing I haven't seen. I've seen episodes of the TV show, of the animated series. I've seen RoboCop 2 and 3, and I'm not going to say RoboCop 3 is a great movie, but it's not that bad. And I like RoboCop 2 a lot.
It's like Terminator 3 of the RoboCop.
It's exactly like that.
it just got to the point of, all right, we're just making this to sell toys, so RoboCop has a jetpack.
Yeah, PG-13 RoboCop, and wherein RoboCop doesn't do a whole lot, but when he does, it's cool. And RoboCop 2 is actually directed by the guy who did Empire Strikes Back, Irving Kershner. And I don't know why people hate that one, because I thought it was fun.
Huh.
No, I've heard RoboCop 2 is a fine sequel.
Okay, I did not know what the...
I have seen
what the
none
general...
of the RoboCop.
Yeah, neither have I, so that's why I think this would be an interesting experiment to see what I would think of the original after watching the reboot. I feel like it's like, watching the Star Wars prequels before you watch the original.
Which is how some people grew up with those, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Right. I want to see if I watch these movies wrong, will I have a different opinion than other
you know what you should do is watch them backwards? Like, watch the remake, then RoboCop 3, then 2, then 1.
I thought you meant actually watch them in reverse. Like, just rewind them and watch
idea.
it that way.
Just watch them get better instead of getting worse.
I don't think I'd really enjoy that or get anything out of it.
And that's why it's on the internet.
Oh, boy. All right, so we're about at the hour and a half mark, guys. That's what I was looking for this episode. I think it'll come down in editing. I got to edit my part
Here's
down
hoping.
a lot. But I think that went really well. I know this is only going to the few friends and family that we'd like their feedback, but this is something I want to do in the other episodes is where can people find you? What do you want to plug?
I don't want to be found. Could that be an option?
Yes, Tyler. You can be the guy in the woods.
I'm down with that.
But you can find me at Twitter at Josh Lakaitis. Mason, where can they find you?
You can find me in a bunch of places. I am Mason Betterly on Facebook. I have a fan page. Come be one of 12. I am on pretty much every form of social media at Good Old Price.
There you go. All right.
Hey, Winnie, I would like people to find me
us.
at the... I don't have any social media out there, nor a YouTube channel, but you can find me at the phone number 315...
Nope, stop. Nope, you can... I'm going to cut your audio, so...
Send me lots of nude pics of your wieners, please.
Oh my gosh.
All right, everybody. Well, this has been Artificial Entertainment with our first episode 0. We hope you enjoyed it, and we look forward to seeing you again on our next episode. Stay tuned.
Bye.
Mason, since we don't have outro music, you wanna hum us out again?
Yeah.
Go for it.
Bum, 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 bum. There's all sorts of coolness and estrangement. Thank God there's artificial entertainment.
Cute.
Well, there we go. There it is.
All right. Do I press stop now?